just wow. It is an incredible morning here at the beach. It's unseasonably warm and it's supposed to cool down starting tomorrow, so I wanted to make sure I got out here and enjoyed it for a few minutes this morning. I wanted to talk to you today about toxicity. We're just about to release a new bundle that will help you do a little sleuthing on your own to see if you can figure out what has you feeling a little stagnant, what's zapping your energy. In my experience, most of the time that is some toxic buildup. Those toxins are a long list, and you'll need to pick up a guidebook to learn more about them individually. But specifically today, I wanted to talk to you about emotional toxicity, because this is the one that tends to be overlooked. When we recognize that something's not working right in our lives, we tend to be directed down a few different paths. One is get over yourself, suck it up, and just deal with it. Life isn't perfect. That might work for a time, especially if the situation is not too dire. But the next place we go is to the regular medical doctor. The medical doctor tends to listen to you, and if they think there's any merit in your concerns, they'll start running tests. A lot of the times, especially if it's toxic buildup, the tests that a normal Western medicine doctor runs are not going to find the toxins that are really causing the problem. You're going to be told by your Western medicine doctor that it's all in your head, you're fine, nothing's wrong. At that point, you may accept it until things escalate and get really bad, or you may start going down the rabbit hole of alternative medicine, like what I practice, acupuncture, naturopathy. There's a lot of different paths to explore once you're open to alternatives. But even those practitioners tend to get a little tunnel vision when it comes to toxins. They tend to pigeonhole themselves and specialize in one certain way to solve the problem. I find that every situation is unique, and we have to figure out exactly what's going on with you individually, and then come up with a program that's going to actually address your problem. But that's from the physical perspective. In my guidebook, I also talk about emotional toxicity. This shows up in a lot of different ways and is really, in my opinion, the linchpin and what so often gets missed with any sort of diagnostic situation. So remember, we started this video, I told you that there was a third path to go down, and that was mental health counseling. My husband is a psychotherapist, so I have quite a bit of exposure into that world and a pretty high level understanding of the modalities that they use to help transform any sort of mental state of unrest. But the interesting thing about him and his work is he doesn't address the physical component. So even if you've been struggling with emotional toxicity, while that's got to be addressed in order to ultimately reverse the situation, you still have a physical toxic buildup in your system. You've got to hit it from several different angles. Ultimately, if you want long-term, sustainable success with your approach to well-being, you have to be willing to take a multi-pronged approach. And that's what I advocate for and incorporate into the programs that I put together for my patients. I just want to ask you today, do you struggle with chronic fatigue? Do you feel like you are having some other sort of health issue that you haven't been able to get to the bottom of? In that case, it's likely that there's some sort of toxicity that has built up in your body and has to be addressed in order to be able to not only relieve the symptoms, but also uproot it, flush it out, and give your body a good reset. Our bodies are incredible self-healing machines, and with the appropriate support and removal of things that are contributing to our state of dis-ease, they will right the ship. Our bodies will right the ship on their own with very little outside support. I just encourage you to think about what might be at the root of your situation, and look around this video. Somewhere you'll find a link to be able to find more information. I'd love to see you use our tools to see if you can get to the bottom of the issue yourself and take your power back. We believe that once somebody has the education and the understanding of what's going on, it's fairly easy to solve. We can't do it for you. You've got to be highly engaged in the process. That, I think, is one of the biggest challenges, because we've been conditioned from a very early age to go to the doctor, have the doctor give you a prescription, take that prescription, and all will be right with the world. That fallacy might work in some situations, but for any sort of chronic condition, I believe we need to take a different and more holistic, more long-term, more forward-thinking approach to the problem. I'm Dr. Gala. I'm an acupuncturist, an author, and accountant, and I am bringing you practical advice for well-being. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Signing out.